Hi y'all, I'm Amber and today I'll be sharing with you what I've read in the past week. This week I was only able to finish one book, Happy Life After Life by Kate Atkinson. This book is about Ursula, who is born in 1910, and she dies and comes back to life. As she grows older, this happens a lot. And the question that comes about, especially with World War II arriving, can she use this power to change the events of history, and if she can, will she? So I get that the whole book is supposed to be like her kind of reaching to that point and then making a decision, but I don't feel like Atkinson handles this element of the story very well. If she had just stuck to a historical fiction and it was about her coming to a decision of what she was going to do, what part she's going to play in the efforts of the war, I would have enjoyed that because I really overall enjoyed the story in the sense of how she handled Ursula as a character. Ursula was very well rounded and I loved her. I also really loved the family dynamics and just this kind of way she handled the family and just the story overall. In that sense, it was wonderful, but the element of her coming back to life, I felt lacked any depth. And I felt like she brushed over the fact that she kept coming back to life and the effects it had on Ursula, which didn't feel like there was much effect on her, even though she talks about her going to a psychologist in that deja vu moment. But I never once feel like there was any digging deep into that whole aspect of her life. And because of that fact, I do feel like the book dragged out because he kept coming back and forth, going back, and repeating things a lot, and I just felt like the story just drags out, and you're waiting until the very last page to figure out what decision Ursula's going to make, and then in the end, that decision, that climax, really left me confused as to what the point was. Why did I read all those 550 pages to get to a point where I just don't feel like she actually came to much of a decision at all? I thought that maybe if she had kind of came to that point halfway through and she used that to kind of show where she makes a decision, that would have been wonderful. But you never get that feeling that Ursula makes a concrete decision in all of this. So the fact that I waited that long and I just felt like the resurrection element of this book wasn't that concrete of a part of it, I just kind of felt like everything was kind of ruined because of it. Otherwise, this would have been a really strong story, because I really loved Atkinson's writing style and the characters, and the story overall was wonderful, but the element of her coming back to life ruined it for me. So in the end, I did give Life After Life by Kate Atkinson 3 stars. Before I took my break, I used to do a thing where I would, at the end of each of my roundups for each week, I would share what I would be reading in the next week. Kind of a small TBR for each week. And I know that last week I did a full TBR for the next month. But as I was thinking about it afterwards, I realized that I really wanted to keep on with the whole theme of doing a TBR for each week instead of a whole month. That way I don't feel extra pressured to try to get through something that I don't feel like I can possibly do. So this will make it more reasonable for me and it will keep me focused. So this week I will be rereading My Sister's Keeper by Jodi Picoult. I'm already about 100 pages in. As you all know, I love this book. It's one of my favorite books. It's also my first Jodi Picoult that I ever read. So this is the book that I fell in love with Jodi Picoult's work with, and it's just been a long time since I've reread this, so it's about time. If you do not know what this is about, it's about Anna, who's 13 years old, and for how many times she's been in the hospital, she might as well be the one sick, but her older sister, Kate, is the one sick. She has leukemia, a very rare form of leukemia, and Anna was basically born in order to save Kate. And Anna, at the age of 13, trying to figure out who she is, makes a decision that brings chaos into her life and her family's life. I should be finished with My Sister's Keeper by Tuesday or Wednesday. So I will be starting Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson. As you may know, I did try to read the Mistborn trilogy, and I didn't particularly go for it. I really love his world building and his writing, but I felt like his characters weren't very well rounded. I decided that I'm going to try Warbreaker. It sounds very interesting, and I just feel like he has a great quality in his work, so I just feel like I have to give him another try. This is about two princesses, I believe. One of them has to marry the God King, and I believe that they're marrying him in order to kill him, I think. I'm not exactly sure. I know that there's they have this power, I think, by using breath, and I'm very intrigued by this. I've heard a lot of interesting things about this book, so I'm hoping that I'll have better success with this than I did with the Mistborn trilogy. That's it for me. I would love to hear what you thought of Life After Life if you've read the book, and what you all been reading this week yourself. Thank you all so much for watching, and keep smiling.